Military rescues Sri Lanka's Prime Minister in pre-dawn operation as violent clashes leave 7 deaths. A Sri Lanka man protected his eyes from tear gas as he passed the site of anti-government protest in Colombo, Sri Lanka on May 9th. CNN. Sri Lanka's outgoing Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was rescued in a pre-dawn military operation Tuesday, hours after his resignation, as violent clashes between pro and anti-government protesters left several deaths and 217 injured. The military were called to the Prime Minister's Temple Trees compound after protesters tried to breach his private residence twice overnight, a senior security source told CNN. The attackers managed to enter the outer perimeter of the residence where they heard patrol bombs, but their attempts to enter the building were thwarted when the military fired tear gas, according to the source. One police officer involved in the clashes died at the scene when a tear gas gun exploded, the security officer said, confirming that Prime Minister Rajapaksa and his family have since been taken to the undisclosed location. The scenes followed an evening of violent clashes across Sri Lanka's capital Colombo on Monday, during which at least 7 people died, according to police, although it's unclear if all of the deaths were directly related to the protest. Some 217 people were also injured as the result of the clashes, local health authorities reported. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa quit on Monday evening shortly after a nationwide curfew was imposed. The curfew came after live television showed the footage of government supporters armed with sticks beating protesters at several locations across the capital, including at Gail Face Green Park, and tearing down and burning their tent. Dozens of homes were torched across the country amid the violence, according to witnesses CNN spoke to. The park has become a focal point for protesters who have been demonstrating for weeks against the government alleged mishandling of the economic crisis that has caused the prices of everyday goods to soar and widespread electricity shortages. Armed troops were deployed, according to CNN's team on the ground, while video footage showed the police firing tear gas and water cannons to disperse the protesters. "We are helpless now. We are begging for help," Pasindu Senanayaka, an anti-government protester, told Reuters as black smoke spiraled out of the burning tent nearby and the perch of the protest camp lay on disarray. Riot police attended the protest in Colombo. Police have accused the protesters of violence too, saying they attacked buses carrying local officials to Colombo for the meeting with the Prime Minister. Following the chaotic scenes, the government brought on the island-wide curfew, and soon afterward, the Prime Minister 76th resigned. Multiple stakeholders have indicated the best solution to the present crisis is the formation of the interim all-party government, he said. Therefore, I have tendered my resignation so the next steps can be taken to accordance with the Constitution. However, it remains unclear if the curfew and his resignation will be enough to keep a lead on the increasingly volatile situation in the country of 22 million. Many protesters say their ultimate aim is to first force President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the Prime Minister's brother, to step down, something he has so far shown no sign of doing. The president has condemned the violence in the post on Twitter, but has stopped short of apportioning blame. I strongly condemn the violent act taking place by those inciting and participating, irrespective of political allegiances, he wrote. Violence is one of the current problems. On Tuesday, Human Rights Watch said the use of violence by government supporters have sparked a dangerous escalation, increasing the risk of further deadly violence and other abuses. Meenakshi Ganguly, South Asia director at Human Rights Watch, argues the government to uphold the right to peaceful protest. It's vitally important for security forces to fully respect the right to peaceful assembly and for those responsible for violence to be held to account, Ganguly said. For weeks, Sri Lanka has been battling its worst economic crisis since the island nation gained independence in 1948, leaving food, fuel, gas, and medicine in short supply, and sending the cost of basic goods skyrocketing. Shops in the country have been forced to close because they can't run fridges, air conditioners, or fans, and soldiers have been stationed at gas stations to calm customers who must line up for hours in the searing heat to fill their tanks. Some people have died waiting. Protesters in Colombo first took to the street in late March, demanding government action and accountability. The government was recently thrown into disarray when ministers stepped down en masse. Last Friday, President Rajapaksa declared a state of emergency following skirmishes near the country's parliament, but public anger continues to escalate. The Rajapaksa family has dominated Sri Lankan politics for over 2 decades. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's resignation comes as several other family members who previously held cabinet-level positions have also been forced to step down. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is the only remaining family member still in power.